for the speaker, which will be addressed in the end of the session. E-certificates will be provided to the participants who had filled the feedback form, so kindly ensure that you are filling the feedback form. The thing that's going to make artificial intelligence so powerful is its ability to learn and the way AI learns to look at the human culture. A graceful and warm morning to our most valued guests, worthy teachers, most beloved students, lost but families all gathered over here. I am R. Shushmita Sri, studying BCA LLB in School of Excellence in Law, and I will be moderating this national workshop on transforming law enforcement with Internet of Things and artificial intelligence perspective. It is my privilege to extend a cordial welcome to all of you on behalf of the Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University. I would like to welcome our Honorable Registrar Sir, Professor Dr. V. Balaji Sir, Keynote Speaker of this workshop, Professor Dr. Gunasekaran, faculty members, advocates, research scholars, students, and other fraternities who are attending this workshop. Thank you, one and all. If you were successful, somebody along the line gave you some help, then there was a great teacher somewhere in your life. First of all, I would like to call upon the person who has put all her efforts and time in conducting this workshop for all of us, who has conducted various national and workshops, published international and national journals, also of our by the convener of this workshop, Dr. S.K. Ramani Ma'am, Associate Professor and Head of the Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, to commence this workshop by delivering the address, welcome address. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sushmita Sri. Good morning, all. Distinguished delegates and participants, I start my day with the blessing of the Almighty and wish a happy day and a warm welcome and greetings to one and all present here. It is a glorious moment to extend my warm wishes on behalf of the Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University and the Department of Interdisciplinary Studies for this national workshop on transforming law enforcement with information technology and artificial intelligence perspective. I am indeed privileged to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor and the Chief Patron of the workshop, Professor Dr. N.S. Santosh Kumar Sir, the person who is the backbone of our university, inspiring and motivating to conduct series of virtual academic activities in this prestigious university. Sir, your blessings and words of encouragement have given the spirit to organize these virtual programs, sir. Thank you. I'm very delighted and obliged to welcome our Registrar and Director UG Courses, Dr. V. Balaji Sir, who will be addressing the participants in the felicitation address. On behalf of our department, I heartily welcome you, sir. I'm also very thankful from my bottom of heart for making sir's presence amongst sir's very tight schedules. Thank you very much, sir, and I welcome you, sir, on behalf of our department. I convey my heartfelt gratitude to Professor Dr. R. Gunasekaran, sir, for accepting the invite to be the keynote speaker for this workshop. Sir is the professor and head Department of Computer Technology in the prestigious Anna University, Madras Institute of Technology campus, Chennai. It is an opportunity to refresh and discuss on how law and the advancing technologies can go hand in hand in near future. Predicting the future isn't magic. As we all know, it is artificial intelligence. This workshop is of interesting and exciting concept, which is artificial intelligence and Internet of Things will definitely feed your thoughts on the evolving concept. Intelligent machines have long been the subject of science fiction. However, we now live in an era in which artificial intelligence is a reality, and it is having very real and deep impacts on our daily life, from phones to cars to finance and medical care, etc. Artificial intelligence is shifting the way we live. When we say the future is artificial intelligence, how law will be an exception to it. It is high time for law enforcement to get an organized crime. This might come true with the assessment of artificial intelligence and Internet of Things. Artificial intelligence can be found in many aspects of our lives. Even public safety and criminal justice are benefiting from artificial intelligence. For example, applying artificial intelligence to address criminal justice needs such as identifying individuals, the actions and videos relating to criminal activity or public safety, DNA analysis, gunshot detection, and crime forecasting. I certainly believe that artificial intelligence has the potential to be a permanent part of our criminal justice ecosystem, providing investigating assistance and allowing criminal justice professionals to better maintain public safety. I, on behalf of the university and the Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, I'm honored to welcome you, sir, for addressing the participants. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
I welcome our Controller of Examination, Dr. R. Srinivasan, sir, our IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Revati Madam, our PG Director, Dr. Kumadaratna, Director, Research and Publications, Dr. Harita Devi Madam, and HODs of the various departments and all the faculties of this university. Welcome you all. I'm very grateful and happy to welcome our own department fraternity, Dr. K.S. Sharwani Madam, Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, who has always been a motivator and constant support and encouragement for the progress of our department as well as our university. Welcome, ma'am. I am pleased to welcome our own fellow colleagues, Captain D. Jaishankar, sir, Mr. P. Kannan, sir, Associate Professors, Dr. Senthil Kumar, Dr. Vail Murugan, Assistant Professors, and our contract and guest faculties for coming together with a team spirit to conduct of any such event of our department. Welcome you all. A special word of appreciation to Dr. Varalakshmi, Organizing Secretary of this workshop, who worked dedicatedly, taking much effort and with a lot of spirit, worked hard in bringing out the best in organizing this workshop. I greet and welcome all the associate professors, assistant professors, and my dear colleagues of this institute to this wonderful workshop event. And I welcome all the principals and the faculty members of all the affiliated government law colleges and all the fraternity of the Anna University and other institutions. I welcome the advocates, research scholars, students from Tamil Nadu Ambedkar University and from other institutions. I welcome the moderators, Sushmita Sri and student coordinator Pratish Kumar and all the dignitaries who are to grace this occasion. Last but importantly, I take immense pleasure in welcoming the participants without whom the workshop would be impossible. We received overwhelming response from participants all over India. Over 600 participants have registered for the workshop. I'm sure that all will feel enriched with knowledge after completion of this event. I welcome you all once again to the workshop and hope that you will all have a great time ahead. Welcome you all. Thank you. Dr. Varalakshmi, the student moderator has any technical issues, means you can just go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll try to sort it out.
Hello,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes.
Ma'am.
Yeah, but some technical challenges are there. Just check your net or else I can ask Varalakshmi Madam to proceed with. We are not able to hear you, ma. You go ahead, ma.
Okay, fine, ma'am. So now I would. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Is the signal okay now? Sushmita, can you able to continue now?
Yes, ma'am, I can, ma'am. Is
Yes,
it okay
yes,
now, ma'am?
please.
The voice is
Yes.
clear, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Please
Thank you,
continue.
ma'am. Sorry for the technical glitches from my side. Sorry, ma'am. The medical teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, but a teacher inspires. On next, I would like to welcome our honorable professor, V. Balaji sir, who is a director in charge of UT Studies, Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University. He has a rich experience of 18 years in teaching, research, and administration. He was nominated as co-investigator in South Asian project funded by the Royal British Government to do research in Indo-US Civil Nuclear Agreement, and he was also awarded a prestigious award of UGC Researchers for teachers to undergo research for 2 years. Professor Dr. V. Balaji sir has owned several important positions in Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University as Registrar in charge, Control Examinations, Syndicate Member, Dean, College Development Council, Director Development in Distance Education, YRC Zonal Coordinator, etc. He has authored a book called Police and Human Rights. This shows how resourceful person he is. With greatest reverence and highest admiration on my side, I would like to welcome Sir to give felicitation address. Over to you, Sir.
Thank you, Sushmita. Thank you for introducing me. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Good morning to one and all. At the outset, I thank the Department of Interdisciplinary Studies who are now organizing this national workshop on the artificial intelligence, which is a need of the hour at this point of time. And I also welcome and also greet Dr. S.K. Ramani and the keynote address speaker from Dr. R. Gunasekaran, Professor and Head, Department of Computer Technology, Anna University, and Dr. R. Varalakshmi, and moderator, Sushmita Sri, everybody, the organizers for making this program. In fact, we all have to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. N.S. Santosh Kumar sir, who has given much academic freedom for us to go ahead with a lot of programs online. And nowadays we are witnessing almost online program every day. And sometimes it happens that 2 programs in a day. Really it's a visual and a knowledge treat for the faculty members as well as for the students. And the facility what we are getting from online is something tremendous, where it reaches enormous number of people. What we cannot achieve even within the classroom, we can achieve through this online. So that itself shows that how potential the computer or the so-called internet or something what we are used to in our daily life. Now, once again, we are not, or I am not master in the computer science or so much tech savvy to talk about the subject on the law enforcement with that of the artificial intelligence perspective. I leave it to the keynote speaker for that. But however, with my little knowledge, I can say that the topic is very relevant one, and what we are witnessing today in the society is something where this particular element, the law enforcement with the artificial intelligence perspective, comes into significance, like a significant one. Of course, when we started along with this, the computer or so-called, the technology which has intruded into the daily lives of an individual, we could have seen so many difference among the individuals or their behavior pattern itself. Such an impact this internet or the so-called technology, the cyber technology, has got. So this is a developmental aspect. No, the science has developed much ahead, and in fact, the things are moving very fast, and we are seeing the growth of science along with the development of the society. That happens very rapid. But however, the things what is coming with, they normally used to say a thing which comes very quickly and easily will also comes with some danger. So the danger is something what uh, we do witness in our daily life because of this kind of technology. Say for example, about the normal transactions, online transactions that what we are having, as simple as that, from online purchase or taking ATM card, no other things. No, we feel that whether it is a safe one. Now that's the situation right now. We have been very cautious and we have to take so much of care. And the people are telling, the people who know about the cyber crimes and the cyber laws are instructing that what to do and what not to do. And so many things are there. Now that is one part. Definitely that would have another part. But as this law enforcement, that the artificial intelligence perspective, I believe the artificial intelligence is supposed to be the very key feature in a later point of time. Not later, it is almost being surfaced right now, and things have been going on where we can see its presence leaps and bounds. The quantum computing, I believe I heard from one of the resource person in another program where he says that the quantum computing can do wonders. That is much ahead of what we are having right now. It's keep on updating, and so many things have been happening. No, that's an interesting one, and we have to go along with it. And as artificial intelligence, no doubt has an edge of certain things that what we are going to witness in future, that where the things will take on its own, and by its intelligence on certain things, what is it happening in a certain point of time, it takes care of itself, that this things would move on in such a certain direction, and this is how the results could be. I believe, if I'm not wrong, if I'm not deviating from the subject matter, I was referring to the IBM Watson, the software, what is being used right now in US in courts, or not in courts exactly, where the lawyers they use right now to find what could be the outcome of the result. 99% it would have been accurate in almost all the cases. So such a thought process that would happen within the machines, that can bring in intelligence on its own, and it can validate itself. And that is how. So the law enforcement is having a very tough time right now with the increasing of the cyber crimes and other aspects. But at the same time, they do have this kind of, artificial intelligence, and they could have sure about to solve certain things using this AI also. So that is what I perceive from the title and what has been given. I don't want to go much deeper into that aspect because the keynote speaker is already there, and probably he will be leading us and enlightening us more on this subject matter. But I have one apprehension, of course, with all normal, reasonable man as I am being. Now, what would be the legal aspects? No, even though it has been happening on these aspects, the legal aspects also to be taken into consideration, and how far this could be able to validate the process of artificial intelligence. That could also to be seen with the larger perspective, because uh, once you know that this type of things grow very fast, even the technology is going very rapidly fast, where the law could not able to catch it up. That is the situation right now. And once again, I wish the organizing team, particularly Dr. S.K. Ramani, head of the Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, and the keynote the speaker, Dr. R. Gunasekaran, Dr. R. Varalakshmi, and the moderator, and all the team members for selecting this topic, and also bringing in the right person to talk on this subject. I believe that there will be a full discussions on the subject, And with this, I congratulate everyone once again for the success of this program. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Over to
Thank
you,
you,
Ma.
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the presentation address. Your words of wisdom had made a great impact on us. If you think the internet has changed your life, think again. The Internet of Things is about to change it all over again. Next, I would like to welcome the keynote speaker of this national workshop, Professor Dr. R. Gunasekaran, sir, Professor and Head Department of Computer Technology, Anna University, MIT Campus, Chennai. I'd like to mention a few words about him. Professor Dr. R. Gunasekaran, sir, has obtained his PDF in Department of Computer Science in University of California, USA. He had completed his PhD in Computer Science and Engineering in Anna University, Chennai. He has more than 18 years of teaching and research experience. His research of interest are in Internet of Vehicles, UAV communication, Internet of Things, 5G and 6G networks, and machine learning. He has been honored several awards like Young Faculty Research Fellowship under Visvesvaraya PhD scheme for the years 2019 and 2020 from the Government of India. Professional Achievement for the year 2017 from IEEE Madras section. The Young Engineer Award in recognition for the contributions in computer engineering in 2009 from the Institution of Engineers. Last but not the least, Raman Postdoctoral Fellowship at the USA, 12 months during 2014 to 15 from the University Grant Commissions, India. He had done various paper presentations and conferences held in USA, Singapore, Denmark, Melbourne, Canada, Malaysia. He has been invited to many talks, and few recent and selective talks are Convergence of AI and IoT for Building Intelligent Society, Rochester Institute of Technology in Rochester, USA. Also, Seamless Handoff in 5G Networks, Opportunities and Security Challenges conducted by National University of Singapore conducted in Singapore 2019. He had been the reviewer of the notable journals like IEEE, Elsevier, Springer, Wiley, InterScience, and had been made more than 90 publications. Shortlisting his huge achievements is an earnest job. It is my immense pleasure to welcome our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. R. Gunasekaran, sir, Head Department of Computer Technology, Anna University, MIT campus, in this engaging occasion. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, all. I believe you can hear me properly, and I think things are perfect, I think, in terms of connectivity. Please let me know anywhere you are not able to hear me or follow me properly. Please let me know. I can correct myself. Good morning to all, and yeah, I thank you, and thanking the Honorable Vice Chancellor of this Law University, and respected Registrar, respected Head of the Department, and the Coordinator, Professor Varalakshmi, and the other student members who are all taking care of this program, and also permitting me to have a lecture with your fraternity. That's a great thing. And always I look for an interdisciplinary, and it is more appropriate in this venue. Yeah, I thank you all. And in addition, I thank all the participants from different disciplines. For me, it is a different discipline. It's like law and more. Just happy to be being part of this. And I thank all the participants and the faculties of this university and everyone who assembled here, and probably inviting me over here, and I'm waiting for listening the lecture for next couple of minutes. Could be an hour. Thank you. Thank you, Vananda. Probably we can. Yes, ma'am. I think Lakshmi, ma'am. So if fine, I think I can get into the presentation, right? Sure. Okay. Thank you. So let me share the PPT. Before sharing that, I'll let you know one thing that I do have. I believe that I have to have some good experience in technologies, particularly in this IoT, and transferring this, the activities to be an intelligent, probably with the help of assistance of AI and the recent days machine learning, deep learning techniques towards an intelligent society, intelligent activities, intelligent industrial transformations, etc. but I'm not, very good or deeper in the other aspect, like what is it like? It's about law enforcement and whatever it is. So what I can do is that I'll try to figure out, see what is this technologies and how this IoT, or I call it as AIoT. I think it remains the same, nothing, no more difference. IoT or AIoT and artificial intelligence. I mean, this artificial intelligence and this IoT, how this is actually as an engineering or a technology. That's the first, part of discussion or scope of discussion. Followed by, so in the society, how this law and the law enforcements are happening. Probably to make this, or it could be more intelligent and, obviously, and smart. For that, like how these technologies can can help us or assist this law enforcement better, and probably prepare it more for an intelligent implementations, kind of that. That I think that is what the second part I'm trying to discuss. I'm just trying to push here or discuss here. That's what I can do. These are the two parts of discussions or the presentations planned for today's session. And also, I believe that already there are your professors and even the registrar address and your head of that departments. I understand that people are already like ahead of, are looking towards technologies, and I think they are really interested, are doing, are embracing the technologies with your, studies. That's what I can understand. And I'm happy that I'm in the right venue, and I'll try my best, to justify the topic. And probably next couple of hours, next couple of minutes, you are investing here. Thank you. And in addition, I think there are a couple of short videos, probably I have some theory in the sense and also I understand even you are a little ahead of or away from the technologies and the terms and the terminologies, like what are all with the technologies. So keeping that in mind, I planned in a way not emphasizing more on the technical, in the sense I'm giving you the technology and the technical aspects, not more on the inner components or the stakeholders of those technologies. That I'm not going to do deeper. Still, I'm leaving it open. Probably whoever is interested and do have any questions or anything to discuss, probably we can do it even at the end, or I don't know, as your coordinator said, that could be taken later. Okay, so that is up to you. Like even something is really needed, I think if permits people, if your coordinator permits, you can do that also. So I'm just leaving that to be an open discussion later. So anything more deeper and more about the technologies, probably we can take it later. And second part, as I said, law enforcement and it's probably the standards, policies, procedures. I'm not so good in that, since I didn't work practically in any investigation or assisting someone. But instead, we are in the back end, probably applying the technologies to get some solutions, right? So this is how my experience is. So the second part, I think I'll try my best, to take it to the law enforcement and how it is helpful to the advocates or the police or kind of that. Like that, I think that's we are planning. And finally, again, as I said, I reiterate that I'm really happy that to be being here, since I always look for an interdisciplinary activities. So still now, it is interdisciplinary to us. It's mean by working with the automobile department or with the electronics, with the instrumentation, or we go with otherwise we go with the agri, and sometimes you work with so this is how interdisciplinary we are working with. But it is really I feel happy that, and also I feel that there is a venue we are working with you. The minds who are really taking or servicing the people and taking care of. I think you are the last mile. Taking the technology to the last mile to the people. So that point, I think I'm really happy that, and I'm looking for probably with not only with the head of the department, I'm just submitting to the students. I don't know, you are called as students or your stakeholders, could be whatever it is, of this university. Wherever there is a venue, we are happy. As myself and as a Department of Computer Technology, Chennai University is really happy to be part with you. Doesn't matter, it could be a simple, simple the basic level investigations or activities. Not looking for a mega kind of that, not necessary. If it is to the people, we are ready and we are happy without any expectations or any constraints. We are ready to work with you. That's what I'm submitting before starting this lecture. Thank you. So with this,
sure, sir. You're welcome, sir. Sure, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So Yeah, probably. Even I'm thinking that like time permits in the future, if situation is fine, like we can visit time and I'm ready to visit your place, like so that anything we can discuss in person also. So that's true. Even I'm inviting you and your stakeholders to be here in the university so that we can do some fruitful and we can jointly, efficiently, we can start outside and challenges, even in the, giving a practical experience to the students or at the other end to the people. That I think we can do. Thank you. Okay, so without any further delay, I think I'll get into the presentation and yeah. Okay, thank you. So I believe that you are everyone able to see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So probably again, I'm requesting someone to help me or to stop me that if the screen is not sharing or my voice goes down or anything happens in the connectivity, please let me know. I feel that I believe there won't be any issues unless otherwise there is a certain power. I mean, even things are okay here. Still, let me know. Thank you. So as I said that I think time is around 11. Probably we'll go for next 45 minutes or if you permit, like we can take a couple of more minutes also. It depends like how we interact and again to the coordinator. I think you said that interactions could be shared content. Yeah, that's okay. I think it's not from me. Yeah, I think the sharing. Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, sorry. Any questions like or anything really needed to be addressed in between or anything? The participants can put it in the chat or even the coordinators permit. I think they can raise that also. I'm good with anything, but I think probably to maintain the flow, the plan, like whatever probably the coordinators made, I think just go with that. But please someone take care of the participants' request. Thank you.
Sure, sir.
Okay, so thank you, ma'am. So it's about like transferring law enforcement with IoT and artificial intelligence perspective. This is a title like we coined. I think probably I should thank Dr. Varalakshmi. I think probably as the head of the department mentioned, she was so particular in following and she's like putting more effort in making such a topic to happen to her. The university or the department. So thank her, and from her initiative, it is like the topic has come out. Actually, I don't have something in mind. She was giving me some guidance, like and based on and addressing the crowd, it happens. Okay, thank you, ma'am. So transferring law enforcement with IoT and artificial intelligence perspective. As I said that, I start with what is this IoT basically, and second point is about artificial intelligence and how this IoT and artificial intelligence, works together, or how they are embedded and how they are taking the technologies further. I mean, that's the second point, and yeah. So this is about the presentation outline and what exactly, I mean, I said here, it is about first, it is about what is this IoT, what exactly is IoT, and this role of artificial intelligence in IoT, and then how AI and IoT, I call it as artificial intelligence as AI and Internet of Things as IoT hereafter. So how this AI and IoT are focusing and how they are developing, and then their contribution towards industrial revolution. That's I feel it makes really importance here. Reason is that AI and IoT impact towards it's not only with the computer science or the technology or engineering, it's more with the industries. To be frank, like IoT is really doing massive business and massive openings in the market. It's starting with your power grid, automobile or automotive industries, and supply chain management, logistics, so all over, and thermal, chemical turbine. I mean, chemical turbines, and many places like where this AI and IoT contributions are tremendous in terms of making them more intelligent. And IoT is particularly taking care of where few areas and places where human intervention is really not possible. At that places like IoT is getting into and doing major transformations. Yeah, that is the second part, probably AI IoT and their focus into or their contribution towards industrial revolution. And the third component is about AI adoption in law enforcement and how this AI IoT applications for the law enforcement are happening, followed by the future applications and how this AI IoT ecosystem. And finally, a couple of references which helps us to make this presentation, and probably even that will help you to understand how this technologies are doing transformations in the law enforcement. So this is about the outline. Yeah, I think as I said that I'll try my best like to restrict. I'm not in a stage like right to what extent I should get into the technology and to stop where, but still I'm trying my best like to justify with the participants. I mean with your expectations. Still, anywhere you find that you are, I mean, probably these details are fundamental and you need more, or anything like probably your comments are, I invite the comment, I invited, please let me know. But anyhow, as I said that, I'm going in this way. So it's IoT like, for example, technically speaking, or as a definition, it is nothing like, right, describes the network of physical objects. I think you call it as things generally, even the part of the definition, that are embedded with sensors, and minimal software and other technologies, particularly communications, for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and systems over the internet. So that's what the formal definition, I mean, including all the aspects. This is a definition. It's nothing but like kind of connecting all the devices, but here we call it as things. Sometimes we call it as devices. They are more about, a computer science or a kind of, they have a logic, I mean, a template, but we call it as things. Things in the sense like it could be anything. It could be a refrigerator, or it could be a, it could be your sleeping bed, or anything can connect, anything can communicate. That's what we call it as things. So we generally don't call them as devices. Even your sleeping bed or refrigerators are sometimes won't be called as devices in terms of technologies. I'm telling you. So we call them things. That means that we are trying to give some intelligence to all the things like what we use with, or what we used with, like giving some intelligence. That intelligence comes by embedding some sensors and some softwares for that sensor, yeah, particularly sensor for some purpose. And after that, they connect and communicate and exchange data. Probably a refrigerator or a sleeping bed becoming an intelligent won't satisfy any purpose unless otherwise they speak with or they communicate to the other. That's how the definition goes with it. This is how the IoT, and obviously it's about internet, right? So everything over the internet, we call them like over the internet devices become intelligent by embedding sensors and the required softwares. Then they intelligent and they started communicating, and I think, yeah, sorry, probably before that they collect data, right? And they handle data. They collect, accumulate, and disseminate data. That's the point. Like, so they collect and accumulate and disseminate data over the internet. So I think it's a kind of complete definition. So they do a purpose. So non-intelligent devices are becoming intelligent, and becoming intelligent, they started communicating with the other devices or to the cloud or to the remote. Like, so they'll be solving a purpose. That's what IoT is generally like. So what comes here is about non-intelligent, you call it as things, and intelligence in terms of sensors and softwares, and then communicating and sharing the data and probably solving a purpose. Could be a patient monitoring, could be a smart home, smart cities, and things goes in that way. Yeah, we will go to that. We will discuss it a little later. So impact of this IoT in day-to-day life. Yeah, as I said that it's about the consumer products, any durable goods, cars and trucks, could be sensors and other everyday objects are being combined with internet connectivity and powerful data analytic capabilities. That's like, again, the question is that even your smart bed started generating a massive amount of data in a day, So probably what is a smart bed? It is nothing but like probably it's a kind of to monitor the sleeping patterns, or could be a smart beds or component, or one of the component like providing a solution for sleeping disorders. where the doctors can recommend to use a smart bed, so that you can have a statistics, you can have data like for a week or a month. From that data, I think you can have a, you come out with a pattern, for example, saying how many times how many times how stable your sleep is, and how many times you get disturbed, and your change of positions, and all those things are getting recorded. From that, I think the doctor can come to a conclusion, like take intelligent, take an efficient decision. That's a point of it, right? Okay, so this is about like not only with the smart bed I'm talking about, it goes to the automobile, or it goes to the even power grids, the transportations, all the industries, like automobile industries, like probably we know that recent days, like when you look into a automobile industry, you're probably planning to buy a car, or at the time of buying even a four-wheeler, I think we come to know the same, a four-wheeler of, the specification of the same engine, the gearbox, and what else. Like with that, I think you have the variants starting with, for example, the mid-size sedans, like it starts with 10 lakhs, it goes to 10 to 18 sometimes, or 10 to 16 at least. What about this? The remaining are more about the other features, not mechanical. I think everyone agree with that. It's more about like starting with your intelligence. Recent days, it's about how your voice recognition systems, and probably your alert systems, and many more. So these are all making, and in addition, there is an electrical and electronics. I agree with that. I'm not claiming that it is about computer science or IoT is making that difference. Not in that way. Anyhow, it's about data analytics I speak about. So that is another point, like where AI, artificial intelligence, comes into picture. So the question is that a smart bed, for example, can generate a massive data. What you can do with that data? You cannot look into each and every data. I think the reason is the challenge is that, like, right? So we have a big data. We have massive amount of data, but question is that how you see that, what you interpret from that data is the question. Not only for engineers, I think even it is applicable for your, domain also, I believe. So that's a question that, like, how helpful that data is going to be. So there comes the data analytics. Probably these are the keywords connected, like data analytics, big data, artificial intelligence, IoT. So they work together. That's how things goes with that. So low power embedded systems, yeah, obviously low power. Yeah, what is this low power? Why we insist more here is majority of the components and their activities are, of battery. They don't have they are supposed to be self-healing and standalones. That battery operated. So it's very important that they should be. Many of the sensors, like probably you deploy it, you don't mind it like for a long time. It could be weeks or months. They make themselves, right? So they survive and they self-heal. They support. They feed themselves. That's a kind. Yeah, IP version 6, again, it is about networking, communications, and all those protocols. When you see, we started with IP version 4. I think everyone is used to this IP version 4, version 6, and all those things. Earlier, internet protocols are like kind of a fancy, or a kind of, reserved for the computer science or electronic. Now it is not that. I believe everyone do have, right, internet connectivity at home. Have broadband. I think majority in Chennai, like I think we do that. Otherwise, we have a cellular. And we do everyone use this protocol, like, so everyone connected, like, and many of us are aware of troubleshooting this, like why the internet connectivity is the problem with the router, or the you call it as router, or the box like you have at your home, or it is from the service provider, if it is Airtel or so whatever, someone like is the problem. So we are knowledgeable nowadays. That's a question, like, anyhow, but again, cloud computing, yeah, probably it's the next point, like where even what we do now, the Cisco, like the WebEx, the platform we do is also part of cloud computing. So probably where we sit like sophisticated in our places, and we are able to, communicate and gather is really possible. It won't be possible without the cloud. That's really important. So everything probably goes to even I think I go to this. It goes to the cloud and it comes to you. That's not in a way I'm not directly speaking to you. So everything is there, a centralized controller with a database, with all the facilities facilitating, right, one to one, one to many, many to one, and many to many. See, all these combinations are happening. So this we should thank like cloud, and recent days edge computing and fog computing is coming a little closer to the users. That's how. And big data are the major driving forces of this IoT. So technically, like, speaking like this happens in this way. And I also believe it is a department of interdisciplinary. I think, it's really important for us, I think, for you to look into all the aspects, like how engineering, technology, industries and everything goes with it. And also without, I think, having the basic or the, as a kind of rudimentary on all these different disciplines, I think taking your job or servicing could be more challenging. It may not be more, but with this knowledge, I think it could be a little simplified. I think that's what I feel. Yeah, what is this Internet of Things? Who is that? I'm Kevin Ashton, like founder of IoT Labs at MIT, Massachusetts, USA. I think he has just coined this term, and he also has a book like in the name of How to Fly a Horse. Yeah, and the next point is about the role of AI in IoT. Okay, this is about first one, we talk about IoT, and second question is, what is this AI? What is this artificial intelligence, or probably, I think you call it machine learning, deep learning, whatever recent days, all the technologies are probably the origin is AI. It's kind of artificial intelligence. Like, so intelligence is like simple that whatever we do and how much intelligent we do. And artificial is something like, right, probably we are replicating or we are emulating to the intelligence what a human holds, or human, right? So that is how the AI gets into IoT. Yeah, and to formally speak, what is this artificial intelligence? As a definition, it's basically it's an intelligent systems to make something non-intelligent or semi-intelligent to be intelligent. That deals with the creation of systems that can learn to emulate human tasks using their prior experience and without any manual intervention. That's how your robots, for example, good example is that like probably you make a robot. I think you can see in many countries like robots are serving the food at the hotels, like at the restaurants. Yeah, how it happens, like they'll be, they'll be, I mean, given clear experience to do that. That's how the data, big data comes into picture. With the data, whatever you have, like, yeah, with that, you gather experience. From that experience, you emulate, you behave like a human and you, that's the job of what a human do. This is how the artificial intelligence comes into picture. And when you look into it, there are many tools. Basically, there are two segments. One is about the core AI algorithms and technologies, and second one is there are many standard tools and predefined tools serving the requirements. That's how many of us, including the school, from the school to the colleges and to the researchers, PhDs, and anyone can use this artificial intelligence. That's how it is framed. As I said, that there are two parts. One is core AI, algorithm part, where it is little challenging to the other domains. More particularly, it's with computer science and the developers. They work with the algorithmic part, and probably, having the inputs, developing the procedures, and probably making it simple, not complex. Working on the complexities, like could be space or time. That's the core part. And the other part is like there are many tools, many applications are coming up where you can make use of them. And what you should know is that you should know what is your problem actually, what is the problem, and what should be your input. And sometimes you should have more. You should do an investigation on identify what is the right tool or the package. It could be from Python or anywhere. Which one you need, like to test your input. Then you get an output. See, otherwise, what happens is that anything you can have, you give an input X, you get an output Y. Any tool can give you that, but question is that how efficient that Y is the question. So for that, I think we should need, like, we are in need of some minimal knowledge in identifying and selecting the right tools. That is one thing. That's about the AI. Like when take AI into the other domains. Yeah, and getting into why this AI is required for IoT. As I said already, I think the IoT devices generate a lot of data and huge, massive amount of data. And these data to be collected and to be they should be to be an actionable result. To make it a result, like could be a productive result, I think we need intelligence. Otherwise, I think with the massive data, I think nothing is feasible as a result. Like many times, I think we look for a result which should be binaries, right? So how it could be possible? That's the reason. Like since the data is about for a duration, right, involving many entities. So with that, what we'll do? I think researching on that or investigating on that data itself will take a long time. To avoid that, this AI comes into picture and they work on that data. They'll give you, like, for example, you need a result 0 or 1, yes or no. I think you are able to get it from there. And you need a range from that what is given, like probably what could be the for example, if it is a crime, what could be the right possibilities? That also somewhere you can do. You can narrow down like based on your requirement. That's what I can say, like probably in that domain. But taking it as a decision again, like it is left to the user or the customer. I think sometimes. Yeah, and what IoTs collect and handle a huge amount of data that is required by the AI algorithms. Yeah, what is this artificial intelligence, and how it comes into it. And he's the guy like John McCarthy, who is giving award, right? Yeah, and role of AI in IoT. As I said that. Yeah, IoT and this artificial intelligence and how this, it's a kind of a match like we just made in the heaven, kind of called as tech in the technologies. Yeah, there are many applications, like for example, we just brought and we assembled, gathered a couple of examples. First one could be like smart retailing, where you have, it could be a grocery or kind of market, like where you have barcodes and you do that, and right? And also, I mean, probably recent days we are wondering, like your social media will be let for example, when you get into a Walmart or I don't know. I mean, whenever we even here, like when you get, I think India is like coming up. We're not up to the mark like what the developed countries, like even American, European, are actually experiencing. So I think for a couple of examples, if you permit me, I'll take some examples from the developed countries. It could be American and European. So few examples are in that way. So probably I think I just request you to accept it. Since as we are emerging and we are going very fast. And probably I believe that soon we'll reach that, right, in par with whatever the countries are there in the world. But for our discussions, I took a couple of examples. For example, starting with Tesla and see a few things. So just I think for the examples. Anyhow, retail, like it could be of any right. Recent days, I think when you get into the retail chains at USA, like Walmart or Costco, couple of, I mean, anywhere like, so probably everything is very organized, like probably just when you think something, I think you are able to do it, right? And you know that your social media, you're looking for a kind of, for an iron box, I think whenever you go to the near to the, you get into a, a shop like which can provide you that, and you'll come to know that, yeah, probably you may be looking for it, right? So these kind of alerts and push kind of things are getting into even your interest in the social medias are really coming up, right? Are helping the users, right? And the marketers and the producers and the consumers relationship is going in a way. Sometimes it is kind of a nuisance, but still, I think if it is made in an optimized and efficient way, considering both the stakeholders, both the ends, I think it will be a very successful model. That's what I believe. That's about retail, and next one is like how your autonomous vehicles, right? Connected autonomous vehicles and driverless cars are coming up, particularly Tesla, Google, and they are really doing. They come up with many trials. Still some legal and these procedures are there. I believe they are in the baggage. So that's one thing. And also the third one is about your wildlife footprint, and even I think even last week or even recent days, I think we are coming up with tiger follow-ups, right, from China or somewhere. I think it's probably there is a periodic updates, like we are coming up with how this follow-up is happening. So this wildlife monitoring and the footprints are really, IoT is doing a really good job. I mean, business there or good job there, where human intervention or human intervention is really challenging. Yeah, next one comes like some smart thermostat, like even this could be like, it could be for patients, or that's one thing. And next one is this vacuum cleaner, automized or automated vacuum cleaner, probably completely organized. Already it is trained with, right, what is your what is this, a floor plan about your, right, and the obstacle, for example, where your bed is, where your dining table and everything, and probably it is like completely in the first couple of trials. This is how your machine learning or whatever you call it as, just you train them and then you test them. It goes in that way. Just with a quick training, it can able to understand your your floor map. Then it start doing. And the next one is kind of like it's a kind of drones. Drones. I think probably everyone witnessing that it is really doing multiple or diverse tasks or applications, supporting diverse applications nowadays. Starting with your agriculture, spraying spraying your pesticides, or for example remote monitoring, or the rescue, or many activities like but also you may be coming across with even in our university in MIT, we have a Center for Aerospace Research where they are very good in handling this drone applications, starting with many applications like the forest fire and the Mauliga and collapse and the not recent, a couple of years before the Chinese president visited, I think Wahab Libram there, I think they had this drone for the road, surveillance, many tasks like in all over India. I think they are doing good things, and even they are an award winners of drone Olympics couple of years before second place, I think so. So that's about like how drones are doing a big business as an IoT. Like again, drones becomes part of IoT. Even in the drones, you have your cameras, you have your communications, and it speaks with the other devices, mobile phones. Yeah, finally, it's about the smart cities. Yeah, smart cities, smart homes. These are all coming up. Like again, smart cities is a kind. Like I think, yeah, even you are more exposed to that smart cities. Probably many of the crimes, like recent days, even when you get into your news like evening, and many of the crimes and many of the small, even petty crimes are kind of that are able to be, they are able, when police are even the advocates, they are able to identify because of the smart cities. Smart in the sense, even though India is like going towards complete smart, we are somewhere in the semi. Mostly your CCTV is coming, helping us like to get the data. So probably sitting in the control room, I think you are able to see, for example, if it is like Padayar or somewhere, you sit somewhere and you are able to understand, find it out. Even the victim, like even you are able to control or quarantine the victim with the given border. So many things are possible. That's about the smart cities. In that, not only that, again, everything is becoming smart, electricity, and we are able to monitor the locations of our transport, and a lot of things are happening. Like even in India. Yeah, and I don't want to. Okay, anyway, I'll come here. Like then finally, like how IoT combines the key fields of AI and IoT, and the technologies like AI and these 5G and 6G networks. Earlier, starting with the LTE, you call it as 4G networks, and again it is towards 5G and 6G networks. They are more about the communication part. It's about basically they come with the cellular technologies, not with the Ethernet. I mean, not with the data. What is this like? Industry. It's from the telecom industry, but their evolutions are tremendous and probably not unpredictable. And the recent evolutions are more sophisticated and embracing the IoT and the AI applications. So excuse me. Earlier the communications were more with supporting IPv4, that too with a computer, a laptop, and then like towards mobile phones. Now it is more with things. That's supporting everything. That's how the communication technology is evolving. Even I think we are working with this in the sense we are also part of it. And the big data. So these are all the major, technical or the technological aspects which helps us or drives this IoT. Yeah, and again the segments like when you speak about IoT segments, it's more about the wearable devices. That's with the individuals, and then the smart homes, the level ahead. How about your home? Then getting into your city, the city is getting smart city, and finally it is about industries. Most of the industries, I think, whichever the industry is like are reluctant in becoming smart, I think their survival or evolvement as a massive is becoming a challenge. That's what we understand and we are witnessing. So it's about industrial IoT. So these are all the major segments where IoT, artificial intelligence, big data, and things are focusing on. And I strongly believe that even, to the Department of Interdisciplinary, even to the Law University or the stakeholders of Law University, I believe that these are all the venues where you are, supposed to focus, and you should have where we should try to improve, or we should advance in the technologies, knowing the technologies, what governs this industries or the segments. I think that will help us, or that will make us more smart to address the problems, probably with the people, with the society, efficiently and effectively. That's what I strongly believe. So probably I think somewhere we started this session, and your authorities like your registrar and people were, professors were insisting more on how this AI IoT to the industry. This is how I feel that, and whatever I think, we work here, not only with you, everyone, even as a teacher, as an engineer, or whoever is like we work in the segments. That's about when IoT is concerned. So probably I strongly recommend having basic knowledge, not only basic, any how much you advance, I think really that helps you even profession. and making your profession more, advanced and technical. And obviously, it will be quick and fast. I mean, obviously, it will be quick or fast, like giving solutions and handling things, and obviously, will be smart. Like, no. Yeah, I'm witnessing like recent days, like everywhere, even probably the other domain. I'm just seeing many of you are really smart and like handling everything, and this IoT is becoming mandatory. Already, you made it mandatory. So wearable devices, obviously, it helps us. Even the individual perspectives, like taking care of us and connecting. But smart homes, obviously, if they are making that, will help us like to excel in the profession, and obviously city should be. So for example, like we made our home and ourselves smart, but if the city is not smart, I think we'll get a lot of, that's a big like, drop for us, and that will really challenge the efficiency or the effectiveness of any applications, any profession. That's what I believe that, yeah, we made everything. When I start traveling, if I get into trouble, like there's a big challenge. And yeah, many of, I think, have this, some good amount of time we spent in, commuting, sorry. And so that I think I feel that smart city is really important. And industrial IoT, as I said, that real-time data analytics, machine-to-machine sensors, achieve wireless automations and optimize operations, logistics, smart supply chain. So these are all the part of industrial IoT, so which is really important, like giving us a good, knowledge on this and applications of IoT over here. Yeah, and finally, I think, yeah. So probably, yeah, there is a small video, like just a couple of minutes, 4 minutes. I think we discussed a few factors now on IoT and about this artificial intelligence and how this IoT and artificial intelligence together, works or make the society more effective. That I think we discussed. So probably I gave you some a couple of examples with some images. So put together, it is there in a video, like even the videos like from the and the social media, like, so just I'll play that. So I think whatever we discussed could be are accumulated here and as a presentation. Yes. So I think I believe you can see a different screen.
The first wave of the internet revolution came in with the growth of personal computers. And in the second wave, the internet came right onto our palms. That is, with the advent of mobile devices. And here we are, living the third wave, where all electronic devices are almost already connected to the internet, or will be in the near future. Yes, the Internet of Things will bring about the next industrial revolution and will drastically transform the way we live and experience technology today. Quite possibly, the Internet of Things will be as disruptive as the Internet itself, but clearly when combined with big data and predictive analytics. But what exactly is IoT? The concept behind IoT is about connecting just about everything to the Internet in real time, which directly improves our quality of life and experiences. For instance, how are you watching this video right now? On a PC, a mobile, or a tablet? Well, whichever device you're using is definitely connected to the internet. And that means you're already using an IoT device. Sensors are becoming the endpoints of IoT networks. paradigms of effective multitasking with massive applications. Now, let's have a look at the future with IoT environment. Imagine you're driving your smart car to work and you're quite late. Don't you worry, because your car can now provide the shortest route with less congestion. Not only that, the integrated sensors in the car alerts you about mechanical assistance. You also have the access to automatic temperature control. And not to forget, in case you're tired or weary, the car becomes a self-driven since it comes with an accident prevention system. As you're driving, you see the smart farms through your window. Farmers are happier thanks to IoT, which helps them with better yield and provided more efficiency than ever. You might wonder how. With the help of systems like autonomous self-driving tractors, adaptive irrigation systems, soil health monitoring, and animal welfare monitoring systems, this is possible. You also see smart factories which use IIoT, that is, Industrial Internet of Things. With the help of analytics and automation systems, IIoT helps in tracking goods in real time, inventory management, automated delivery system, and much more. Now, you're returning home from office. Your car can park itself automatically. Your fingerprint, voice, or even your smartphone is enough to control all your devices, from lights to television and your door to water taps too. Are you excited to experience this smart future which is not far away? Of course you should be. The applications of IoT will be seen in every industry across sectors, be it education, healthcare, manufacturing, automotive. Millions of their lives today.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 second. Okay, thank you. So we start somewhere here. Yeah, this is about, as I said, it is. I think you said this. Yeah, it's about IoT and this AI and how these applications are there in the market and to the public and how it is happening. That's the first discussion, part of the discussion, and about the video also. And yeah, this is where I think we start. This is about the video one, like how IoT works, and based on the discussions, whatever we made now. Madam, I believe that now the slides are visible. Yeah. And I have a screen. Okay. So then next one is like what technologies have made IoT possible. Again, I mean, continuation of the discussions, whatever I made. And I included like what are the technologies and the advancements helping this IoT and artificial IoT. So it's about like, and IoT becomes like once AI and IoT is, I mean, started playing, and then it becomes an IoE, Internet of Everything. We started calling them Internet of Everything. Earlier, they started as Internet of Things, and slowly, like where they started, penetrating or dominating the entire market. So that way, like it becomes everything. And what are all the technologies that that makes this possible? In that way, it's access to low cost and low power sensor technologies. So where sensors and it's available. They are becoming affordable and reliable. And second one is mostly about connectivity, So what about connectivity? When just like getting into spending a minute there. Earlier we were aware of like how connectivity was like, we started with the 2G when cellular is concerned, then 3G, then getting into 4G and probably towards 5G. Where in this 2G and 3G streams, so we were aware of like where the space for data and particularly handling IP is very restricted. Probably in the transformation, I think GPRS comes into picture from a GSM technology. GPRS is the first one which speaks about data. It's called as general packet radio service. Packet is about your data, we call it as. Then radio, it's about wireless, taking data over wireless. Then slowly we get into this recent days technologies where 4G, 5G. What is the transformation among this and how this recent days generations, I mean this 4G and 5G are supporting more data. When you look into it, that's the transformation from analog to digital and from and a transformation towards IP, internet protocol, or adapting or embracing internet protocol. Earlier this 2G or GSM were not like GSM and 2G were not embracing or more with they are more with circuit switching. Technically speaking, it's about circuit switching. Then it is completely packet switching. That's where when you see I think time permits, just look into the architectural diagram of your third generation, second generation cellular and the recent fourth generation cellular. When you see the core, you can see, completely it is about IP. There won't be like any analog or non-IP components. It's completely IP core where internet protocol or the IP addressing comes into picture, becoming packet switching. And then they started accommodating voice. Earlier it was different. They were basically for voice. They started helping you with some texts, initially with SMS, then with some data. Then later it is becoming completely data and supporting voice. So how this transformation? See, that is the reason when probably from a business potential, perspective, that is how this cellular telecom industry dominates the data industry. Now I think that's one thing. Otherwise, you might have seen that, I don't know how many of you do have the experience. Could be a decade before, I think. It could be a decade before, or even we come across with a technology called as WiMAX. Even our BSNL days, they were offering that service. Later, it was like not in use. The reason is that these cellular technologies started dominating. In the data, when you see like wired and wireless, it's more about Ethernet. Then you had Wi-Fi. Now Wi-Fi is getting more strengthening. Then Wi-Fi is limited for, right, in terms of, connectivity in the sense like distance. They have a connectivity or, vicinity of, in terms of meters. To expand that from data industry only, a technology called as WiMAX evolves. But later stage at the time where WiMAX and this 4G are, evolving, they are in the same era, time. Among these verticals, this telecom industry dominates because of this capex and and the capital investments and the operating expenditures, capital expenditures and operating expenditures. Since like the reason is very simple. This 3G, they had an infrastructure in the sense they have the base stations, they have called it as towers, transceivers. So already they do have. They upgraded. They technically upgraded. Hardware investments is like it's very feeble. It's meager. But in terms of data industry, they're supposed to come into the market. So that's the reason. I'm going out of it, but still I'm telling. I think since you are also at society, like we are looking into all these aspects, business aspects. So just I'm telling that this is how this business aspects influences the obviously it influences the technologies and its evaluations. That's how it happens here. So just technically speaking, that's about the connectivity and communications we are talking about. And I said that 5G and 6G networks, there are a lot of they are more focused on what? The IoT devices, apart from what next to the mobile phones. Computers, laptops, mobile phones, then what next? It's more about your wearable devices and your tiny, right? It doesn't matter, you give anything, right? Or you see anything. Exactly, make it intelligent. That's it. What is intelligence? Make them capable of computing and communicating, right? That's simple. If you can do that, then I think anything is possible. From that, I think, for everyone, job is getting simplified. As a teacher, I can probably have a surveillance. I can have desk, like when someone sits in the desk and his attendance will be given, right? And we say that someone is like, it's a kind of, masquerading kind of that. But it could be possible. He's supposed to physically sit in a desk like that. Could also be possible. Forget about the cameras. Even a desk like, a wooden furniture could be intelligent, with small, embedded, with the affordable, intelligence, implementing or adapting, embedding affordable intelligence. That could be possible. So this is how the transformations. As a teacher, I will be beneficial. As a probably advocates or police or kind of that, I think you will be like, this will be helping you, right? If you are able to know at a time like there is a guy like who is there on a desk or not, then I think that will be the place where you start your investigation, right? Otherwise, it will be it's not that will give you a binary yes or no. Otherwise, it could be consideration, right? Even that, I think probably many of our suspense, movies take us in that way, probably somewhere like since we don't get a binary. Okay, anyhow, that's about it. Connectivity. Then cloud computing platforms. Yeah, as I said that. Without that, I think future is going to be that. I think many of us started like how this cloud computing. What is this cloud? I think many of us started offering this. For example, the WebEx. I think I believe that since it is a licensed version, we paid probably La University paid a lot like for this. I think to happen to it is one of the best platforms. So obviously it have pays for it. Since it is about cloud and getting some space, having your activities recorded, and how cloud influences individually. That's a question. Recent days, I think we started emailing and many of the things, and probably we run out of our inbox, right? So we go for creating many emails. If Gmail and Google is concerned, I think he offers 15 GB or somewhere. It is not sufficient when you make documents over there, when you transfer. We started cleaning it, right? Sometimes, but we started paying for it. I think we are the users of that, probably $20 per year. We started buying the drive. You may have everything in your laptop or your machine could be 1 TB, right? And hardly 10% of your memory got utilized. But what is the purpose? You're supposed to pay for Google to have your content. Why? That's about cloud. Like without that, I think survival is going to be a big challenge. Not only that, like many things are getting kind of renewals. Like for example, when you see about your MS Office, Microsoft Word, Word, PPT, what is this? Like PowerPoint and all these things. We had this like 2019 is the latest one. I think many of us installed, paying like around 5 to 6K of spending on that. But I think even their procedures are completely Office 365. That is the one which is supporting more on cloud-based. For example, you open a Google Doc, you work in a different place. For example, you work with your senior, work in another place, and you can make it more, comprehensive. That will be possible efficiently only with your Office 365, not with your Office 2019. Office 365 is a kind of early renewals. Since it works in the cloud, everything is, and obviously they give you an OneDrop like a drive where you can put everything and you can open. So it goes in that way, cloud computing, starting with the personal and to that. And how about the other technologies, like you call it as edge computing, fog computing, what are all this? See, somewhere like we were distributed, manner of working. Later we said it could be centralized. Again, we come now like it could be semi-centralized, semi-distributed. This is what happening. So one good example is in a minute, like for example, your car is kind of the data analytics, like, for example, it happens in a track. Probably people are looking for a server which is very close to the track. For example, if it happens in a remote place of UK, you cannot put something in London and just monitor it, because like, what about the latency? I mean, the connectivity should be so quick, like it should be zero latency, but practically it's not zero, but expecting to be zero. Then only you can take some, decisions. So these are all the kinds like, now I think ancient fog, see, earlier it was distributed towards, centralized, then becoming like semi-centralized. It's kind of like, right, evolving, things are happening completely based on the requirements. Okay, that's about cloud computing. And finally, machine learning and analytics. I already said that there are many tools, many algorithms, like for example, it's nothing but like probably you need to train something, right? Based on the pattern you do that. For example, about your car, probably you can train that. Even the automatic cars are, in the sense, driverless, not automatic, autonomous. Driverless cars are something like you should feed the pattern, like where you start from, where you want to go with. Once you set it, it starts doing. Right? Similarly, all the activities, your robots, as I said, that's about your machine learning. But writing algorithms and doing that itself an interesting domain. And I'm really like, that's one thing. And applying or using it rightly is another case. That makes us successful. There are too many. Like, see, for example, there are some complicated tools and solutions. Provisioners, do we really need them? For a very simple, right? There could be a case like, which needs very simple, attention in the sense application of your technology, but it's not complicated, right? And yeah, that's a different point. And finally, it is about conversational artificial intelligence. Again, it is about conversational, right? I speak about the NLP, natural language processing. I think everyone witnessed, like, I think most of us do have one of this component, right? It could be from Amazon, or it could be from Google or from Apple. Like it could be Alexa, Google Home, or Apple. I just forgot the name. It could be, right. So these devices are there, which is making just, oh, hey Google, or hey Alexa, what about the temperature and how I can go? It goes in that way. So that's how things go. So it's about conversational, not only conversational, and it is about your vision based, like, right, and face recognitions and things are happening. So these are all the technologies which made IoT possible. Finally, it's about industry benefited out of IoT. That's a major thing, industrial IoT. I believe in a way, earlier, like, when we started looking into or doing some rudimentary kind of investigations and research in IoT, we were like, we were wondering and we were surprised that how computer science is the one like doing IoT and applications of IoT in computer science. And these are all the market trends, business potentials. But later we come to know like where IoT is making, that's kind of tremendous and massive advancements in the industries. That's what we witnessed. For example, smart manufacturing, transportation, the logistics, automotive, healthcare, connected assets, and preventive and predictive maintenance. Obviously, recent days maintenance is really, in a bigger size, or in a larger industries like you have a turbines, thermals, and a lot of things like looking for maintenance. Or every time you cannot like interrupt and interfere and or intervene and understand it. But you have sensors, you have IoTs that will keep on giving you records. For example, how you come to know your printer, right? There are two things. When you don't get your printing, your papers, probably when you get a dark shade or something like that, you come, yeah, it's out of tone. But many of the printers are giving you an alert. Yeah, if it is a color, it says that this goes down, that goes down. But still, I think still we don't listen that we know that it has a backup of 10-20%. We will keep going. But we'll start preparing to buy a cartridge, right? So these things are happening. That's advancements. Like even though simple, it's a task, like, right? Otherwise, what happens? We won't have a backup. That's what the maintenance I'm talking about. Okay, that's about industrial IoT, and yeah, this is about industrial revolution. I think many of us are aware of. Most of us are aware of what is this industrial 4.0. That's what happening. What is the trend like? What is happening today? I'm just putting the slide telling that where IoT and the AI made a major impact here to make it more effective. That's what I can say. It's a fusion of advances in AI, robotics, and automation, IoT, big data, and this 3D printing. I think 3D printing is really like a kind of like wondering, right, how things happen with even in this pandemic. I think probably many things were made quick because of this 3D printing. I believe even in the news, I think these are all the things which we come across in your daily exposures, right? Could be newspaper or something. Not necessary to get into a technical textbook by Starlings, someone like the experts to study that. These are all regular activities. I strongly believe this is a common knowledge. It's not about expertise or a knowledge for computer science or something. No, not in that way. This is a kind of becoming a knowledge for a public. What 3D printing, genetic engineering. Genetic engineering could be anywhere. Could be in agriculture. Could be there, right? Anyway, or we apply. We imbibe this genetic engineering, right? The pattern and do some research. That's about quantum computing and more. It goes in that way. And obviously, as I said, how about this 1, 2, 3, 4? One is more about mechanism and steam power kind of that. I think in the industry 2.0 revolution, it's more about electricity and electrical based things comes into. And in the 3.0, probably little automation and computers are getting into the market. And 4.0 is like, right, after everything is done, it's cyber physical system, right? And IoT comes into picture. So cyber physical is really, I think whatever the topics I discuss now, everywhere I think we go with the cyber physical, right? Cyber security is important. I think for you, I think for your community, I think it's really, cyber security is a challenging and also giving a space to do business also, I believe. So that's really important. That's about industry evolution. there is a video right somewhere. Okay, so yeah, with this I think I don't know. I think we about time, like probably Madam Dr. Valakshmi. I think how much time you permit me further? I don't know.
Maybe another 15 minutes, sir.
Oh, is that okay? Okay, I think I'm delaying somewhere. Okay. Okay, I'll make it fast. Like anyway, I believe the first part is more about technologies and with us, and the second part is like to your domain. I think I don't need more time to spend here. I believe that I introduced IoT and AI to some extent, and probably next one is like we'll get into it little. I think I'll fast this. For example, AI adoption in law enforcement. In that way, even I'm new to this, but anyway, I started investigating and we understand it is very close to us. Yeah, what is this law enforcement? Probably, I hope you guys are very well aware of whatever it is like, right? Governing in the right way and benefiting the society. That's what given there. And when AI is the ability of a machine or a computer program to think and learn, yeah, probably a machine or a computer program which helps you, right? And probably it helps us. This law enforcement agencies rely on technology for many parts of their job. For example, involving this AI, IoT, and this AI, identification of criminals, prediction of deviant behaviors, crime scene investigations, tracking of money flows, tagging and defending against fake news, decision making, etc. And and continuation of that, like enhance critical aspects of police work in detecting and combating this criminal behaviors. And probably, what are all the AI OT technologies helping you all these activities? Obviously, use of surveillance systems, obviously with CCTV cameras, now the drone cameras, right, to reduce all these things. And then facial recognition system, where you have a technically deep learning kind of technologies are involved in that to get more accurate and in recognition. And then pattern recognition algorithms, probably correlating the crime scenes, right, and just looking on the pattern. Again, AI and this IoT helps you a lot. Then crime prevention and prediction, yeah, probably. So that's too hard. I mean, everywhere we do that. Like for example, one is detecting and giving solutions. The other one, the best thing is about preventing. That's what I think we do work to. I mean, a lot like to prevent any kind of crimes to happen. That's a way. Yeah, again, your machine learning kind of things helps you to advance this. Okay, so before coming here, okay, so then yeah, big picture of what is this law enforcement applications. As I said, similar. I mean, the same thing, like where smart sensors helping in notifying the empty parking slots or spots. Could be smart watches helping in keep track of ensuring health status and stress levels. It could be the officers or it could be the victim also. Probably stress levels also in a crowd, like it helps us to know that. Then smart signals in the traffic that helps you. Then like a drones assistant, probably a drone surveillance. That's another thing. Like, yeah, this is in the second section, the first part. It's about like how this is, and then finally we go with a couple of applications. I'll make it quick. And yeah, if you permit, there is one more video. Like it's more pertaining to how your traffic management and how this how this management is happening. So just. Yeah.
Sir, sorry for disturbing.
Yeah.
I think we can only see the video. Audio is not lit.
Is this for everyone? I think. What about the previous video? I think you were able to hear, right?
Yes, previous video was fine, sir. Please make sure that this video is played with audio.
There's nothing to do here once again. Is it the same for everyone? For others?
Yes, sir, I think.
But how about now? You heard it? Madam, you heard the audio? No.
No, sir. Please play the video. Maybe let me check, sir. Now.
Nothing's there in the audio. It's just a music, so no worries. Like let's probably running out of time. It's no.
Fine, sir. Then it's fine. Sir, maybe if you can annotate along with the video, it will be fine, sir, for the better understanding.
No, you mean the voice? But the problem is like there is a music. I mean, there is a small music happening at the back. I don't know. From my side, I'm not in a position to interfere in between. But still, it is about. I mean, are you able to follow it? Like probably since we have all the text there, is that fine, or still it is finding any difficulties? Even I like to hear from someone else. It's like someone is able to hear the audio. The audio is simply a music, so.
Okay. So this is for mobile violation capture.
Yes. That's a traffic violation, right? Yeah, okay, this one.
The last comes the incident detection.
Yes. That's right.
Automatic incident detection is there. With the help of the traffic incident server, the wrong way driving will be focused. So it's automatically detected. If at all any fallen object is there or any pedestrian detection is there. Roadblock detection. So the monitoring center, it receives a notification from irregular source. Yes.
One second. Oh, thank you. I don't know, like, yeah, this is more about. Someone said that audio is missing, but there is nothing behind, like just a music. So no explanations were made in that audio, but I think it's self-explanatory. So probably it's a video like how the traffic management system is able to handle all the different behaviors, including lane change or lane, speed and many things I think we are shown there. So that's one thing. So why I put it here is that, like, again, it is about how see, one thing is about the hardware. You have cameras, everything is fine, but question is about how intelligent we are able to take it, like, precisely, or point the victim. And that is one second point. Third point is like how we may reach them, right, to get back the to get the penalty, or to probably to put them in the to punish them. So that's completely and entirely that's complete automized. That's a question. That's a consideration here. So even like people are like whatever it is, like mistake, could be knowingly or unknowingly. Sometimes, right, they are ready, like if it is a fine or kind of that, they are expecting it to pay it online, and even spending time on that, visiting a court or coming to a police station. These are all the things. Like, so I think earlier days it was different. Probably we need to take him, and the entire day goes for the right, the other victim also. So now it is simple that where I think. And also, if they keep repeating it, I think in many of the developed countries, like once, twice, I probably have the points. Like once it goes, you will be, expelled, or I mean, you will be prevented from driving, and your driver license will be expelled. So this is how things goes with that. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. It's a complete system. Yeah, and final. I mean, said probably next 10 minutes or whatever it is. This is what I think we said. Then applications. Finally, coming to applications. Applications pertaining, right? That is law enforcement. That's what we started here. So the first one is about smart sensors. So how about that smart sensors? And smart sensors are becoming the core of the IoT, like devices. And as I said, like little sensor embedded into everything, starting with your smartphone to car engines, are recording and transmitting valuable data to law enforcement in a variety of capacities, and capture data from preferred environments and transfer their physical properties into measurable electrical signal, and then processed by a microprocessor to give outputs that corresponds to a set of actions. That's what I said. It's simple that like not only just capturing something and giving, probably the sensor captures something and gives you, right? I think we cannot do anything with that. We will not be in a position to investigate and understand that. So that's a question, like how the process is happening, how AI and comes into picture, and making this Internet of Things more effective. And enabled firearms, I think mostly, I think even in the articles we are looking into it, where firearms are, probably there are both aspects, like at the who handles it or the victim. There are some legal challenges sometimes comes into picture, right? If someone is challenging, so for that, I think YADROM is kind of IoT environment, like where intelligence is embedded into your devices, that will give you like the scenario that will help the investigation. Sometimes if there is an investigation, it helps to make it more effective. That's what that would be embedded with the sensors. Yeah, whatever I said, like now. Captures, analyze, and reports weapon data in critical situations, thereby saving lives and building trust between law enforcement and the community. Yeah, then it is drone surveillance. Yeah, everyone is aware of. Drone surveillance is one thing which helps, and drone applications are many, like as I said, in agriculture and many places it's doing a good business and support. There are situations where the law enforcement has difficulty in reaching a location due to this dangerous topography, rooftops or remote locations. Then AIoT powered drones are being used to counteract the above dangerous circumstances. Have the ability to hover above very precise locations. Could be like, and track the footage and record and store. That's another thing. It's drones are something. It's not like, how this IoT comes into picture is that we are not here to claim drone as an IoT, as a kind of, no. Drone is a device like which is part of IoT. So that's a question. Like, it's not about just taking an image, probably sending that image like to the cloud and able to analyze it and match it, right? Their artificial intelligence, machine learning, all the technologies comes into picture. They are able to identify it and give you what you need, right? To the officer, probably giving you, it could be, right, to the levels of investigation. It supports us like with a very, very, very clear, picture close to the answer. That's really important. With some XRY data, what you will do if it is not correlating, right? I think that will not help you. That will unnecessarily, confuse and complicate and probably drag your investigation. That's what I believe that. So whatever you do, that's how this IoT comes into picture, and internet like AI comes into picture. Yeah, then smartwatches. Yeah, smartwatches actually two aspects. One is about the, even for the officers taking care of their health and probably for easy communicating. In that way, it comes into picture. Yeah, obviously, what are all the, for example, sensors, what kind of activities, what kind of details and alerts and data you can pull from that, starting with your heart rate, step count, monitoring, blood pressure, right, and other informations and Bluetooth like that. So that's about your smartwatch. Even there is a very quick video here, like how your stores are there. Anyway, I'll put it later. since we are running out of time, right? And then it is about fleet management. Fleet management is again two things. It's again there are two aspects. One is about your security. I mean police and their fleet management, and generally a fleet management, right? For example, you have trucks and many. I mean where you have logistics is involved. That I think that could also be you have tags, and also your inventories are there in that, and how the inventories are traveling. Yeah, nowadays I think you can able to follow. Earlier, probably even your Amazon delivery or your Flipkart or your in India postal and more efficiently your DHL and all those things, they're able to tell you like where your shipment is like, right? Because of your that right RFID tag happens. It keep on like giving you an information. I mean that you send it by today and tomorrow it reaches, but in between you will have a 10 times or number of updates. Sometimes it's not necessary, it is guaranteed that it will reach by 10 a.m. tomorrow, but in between it will tell you where it is like. Sometimes we get annoyed like why should I worry about it is in Bombay Transit or somewhere. I don't. Is it like? But still, it is a system like where it is giving you the data to the customer. Even for spending 100 rupees, like you'll be given this much of informations, right? For example, technically we speak the TCP/IP protocol, transmission control protocol, ensures the end-to-end semantics when you send the data. That's what we do in communications. Similarly, like okay, that's one of the fleet management about the inventory, supply chain management. Everything is getting influenced because of this. Like, yeah. And also other case like about the vehicles and the vehicle fleet and any dash or kind of that you will have a license plate readers, dash cameras, gun sensors, etc. That's gun sensors are for rescue or for the police, for the cops. Like it happens in that way. That's about it. And finally, crime prediction and prevention. Yeah, that's one thing. Law enforcement agencies uses data-driven systems, which is combined with AI and the ability to create and map that identify criminal hotspots, and based on this information, they can predict where a crime is most likely to occur, right? So this is kind of that, and could be like in next couple of minutes I'll wind up, but in between, like skipping the one video, but still, if time permits, we'll see.
No human need is more powerful than the need to feel safe and secure. We need to know that we and those close to us are free of danger. To achieve this, we put our trust in the men and women of law enforcement.
Madam, how about like others? Can you able to hear the voice?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's clear now, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And the individuals on the front lines do everything that is humanly possible to protect us. Being human, they bring the full power of the human brain, more powerful than any machine ever built, to protect our citizens from crime and terrorism. Human beings are exceptionally good at sensing danger, even from the most subtle cues, and we're able to recognize faces with uncanny accuracy. Human perception allows us to take in massive amounts of information and spot what's most important in a split second. Now, we must increasingly rely on technology as an integral part of law enforcement and counterterrorism. The main goal of this technology is to enable the human beings charged with keeping us safe to perform at superhuman levels. One way that technology can achieve this is by overcoming human limitations, the most critical of which is on attention. Human beings are limited in the number of things they can pay attention to at one time. In the United States alone, an estimated 30 million surveillance cameras shoot 4 billion hours of footage a week. Technology that focuses human attention where it's most needed increases the value of this surveillance exponentially. A second way technology can enable humans to perform at superhuman levels is by sharpening or expanding their powers of perception. For example, by allowing them to see things invisible to the human eye. Although some of this technology is already in use, we believe it's essential to accelerate the development and deployment of more advanced technology for law enforcement and counterterrorism. Introducing Homeland Ai, a new company founded by a group of leading AI researchers dedicated to using artificial intelligence to prevent crimes and acts of terrorism. Our current areas of focus include detecting suspicious behavior, spotting weapons and other contraband, enhancing surveillance video, recognizing persons of interest based on descriptions or photos, detecting malevolent intent by sensing biological indicators of stress or anxiety, and integrating data from a wide variety of sources to identify early signs of criminal or terrorist activity. We are actively seeking opportunities to partner with law enforcement agencies to use our deep learning technology to address their highest priority needs. That our technology will give you the solution.
Yeah, thank you. This is again a video like how this crime prediction and prevention is about. So it's more about it, and yeah, finally, it's more with the code system again, where this IoT and AI technologies are helping the advanced analytics, better evidence, and optimized process for everything. Yeah. Yeah. Finally, it is about reduced cost and time. So this is one of the other one among that. And finally, there is one thing, just a quick. Yeah, I mean, that's about it, right? Yeah, and the latest one, the recent video played is more about how to, capture that, and the previous one is like how to prevent the crime and how things are helping, how the AI technologies are, and there are many forms like Homeland AI, and there are many companies across the globe, like so like okay. So with this, I think I'm just ending the applications. Maybe in 1 or 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, I'm able to complete. Second, something is. Yeah. Yeah. Then future IoT trends. Again, with this, I complete the application. So yeah, I'm done with the applications pertaining to the law enforcement, and the videos like related to that. And finally, how about the future trends of this AI IoT and as a technology and supporting the community, the people? So about edge computing, whatever I said, like where you have becoming trends, like where you have smart appliances, smart thermostats, kind of that. But future is going to be like kind of home robots and autonomous vehicles, driverless cars, and voice recognition and vision recognition. Voice and vision is, going to do a massive influence and transformations, where kind of natural language processing, e-payment, voice authentication, and video analytics, and probably towards 8K resolution and all those things. So this is about this one is like the second one is about the current, and second how future is going to be. So it's about your cloud. The computing, the data. Storage. Then with your voice and vision are going to do a big, transformation in our IoT applications. Yeah. Finally, the IoT. Yeah, I think the AI IoT ecosystem, like how it happens, starting with your smart city, smart home, smart transportation, and how these are all working together, and the company and the farms and the companies, the manufacturers across the globe are listed here just for an understanding. I think more on this. There are many bodies, like many for consortiums and bodies, like from a legal, from technology, manufacturing, and all these, like everyone work together to make this happen. For example, Qualcomm, ITU, Bosch, many things. Yeah. Finally, a couple of reference facts where AI based, I think there is a alert, like okay. Anyway, AI based facts like prevention in India, like how about it, right? Facial recognition technology, and there are some instances and facts like where we get it from the newspapers. It's a kind of AI based facial recognition, AI powered. Yeah, that's one thing. And with the AI powered equipments, and digital and more technology based, mostly with AI. The police and the investigations are mostly with AI, artificial intelligence, and big data and analytics. That's about it. Yeah, finally, a couple of references which we used to make this presentation. AI, law and legal practice, role of lawyers in the police problem solving, future of lawyers in the law and crime forecasting, and a couple of things. Yeah, finally, it is about research activities at Engineering Lab. It's about, yeah, I'm done with this. With this, I think I'm closing the session. Probably, yeah, I maybe like a couple of minutes in delay, but still, want of time, I'm just closing here. Finally, it is about us, like what we are doing, research in our Engineering Lab. Yeah, I'm myself, the principal investigator with my research scholars, PhDs, masters, and undergrad. We are in the name of Next Generation Network Lab, which founded nearly a decade before, and we are coming up with a couple of activities. And the recent activities are more with IoT and 5G 6G networks, probably a smart bandwidth utilization, intelligent disaster management system, blockchain-based land registry system. So we just simplified the land registry system, secured and simplified. Then connected autonomous vehicle, intelligent traffic management, smart platooning, AI-powered blockchain security, then smart lane changing, etc. Then UAV communications. Under that, we work with smart indoor-outdoor navigations, and weed detection methodologies, payload management. Obviously, it's about how much it can, as a when you embed a camera, how this UAV behaves, kind of load managements we are doing. So, with this, I wind up. Thank you, and yeah, open for questions. And finally, one line, like I think I believe that even once I'm starting, preparing for this session, and after completing that, I understand the importance, like how much we need to leverage, right, the kind of technologies and everything to the to the advocate and to the community who's really service. Who really face the people. And we are. I don't think that we are all not in the last mile. Maybe a hop ahead, but you are on the one like overall in the last mile. And even countries like India, like when we were able to leverage and we can have the benefits and of the technologies, particularly whatever we discuss now. I think really we can do wonders. And as a country, I think we will be in par with the developed nations. So anyway, we are going to be, but I think it could be made faster if we are able to work together, where technology, engineering, and the lawyers, advocates and police, and even we can work together. I think we can do wonders. That's what I believe, and I'm really happy after making this. And finally, I thank maybe my higher officials at University of Anna University and my Engineering Lab who helped me to make this happen. And a special mentioning to Mr. Selvam, and who is a PhD student, like I was working more with AI and kind of that, who helped me a lot. Thank you everyone, and open for questions or any discussion. Thank you.
Yes, Sushmita, you can ask questions from the chat box.
And before answering the questions, I can tell you that I think I introduced initially, I'm good in somewhere in technologies and this law investigations, we are new to that. But anyhow, any questions, if I'm like honestly, like if anything, I can say, okay. And as I said earlier, like, we are open for it. And also really, madam, like to the head of the department, I'm submitting this. If you find any group of your, any individual or any group like from your department or your alumni or any of your outside stakeholders is interested in handling technologies, we are open for it.
Yes,
we are open for
sure.
it.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That's
really open. Probably making something meaningful and significant to the people and the community. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Go ahead with the question answer session, ma.
Yeah.
Sushmita, let me just check if she is any net connectivity problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, you can just go ahead with the questions.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Our faculty, Dr. Lucky Judge, ma'am, she has asked a question. So, good morning. Big data analytica is intruding into the piracy of the people. Is there any way to ensure cyber security in that?
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding it. I think it's about big data and privacy, right?
Yes, sir.
I can see the question, or I'm just seeing. Even I can see the question, right? Somewhere
Yes,
I was
sir.
here. You had it, but no problem. Sorry, can you repeat the question? Sorry. What is this? Like big data and privacy?
Big data analytica is intruding into the piracy of the people. Is there any way to ensure cyber security?
Yeah, rightly, ma'am. That's why I think, yeah, when we are discussing, we were talking about like whatever we discuss finally comes to cybersecurity. Unless otherwise all the domains, verticals works together, right? We are not able to, we cannot be successful. And also in India or even in any country, like it happens in a trial basis. Like for example, what we do is like, even to monitor my room, I may be putting my cameras like, but that is not the solution. There are a lot of privacy and the issues comes back, right? Even the law, there are I mean, like even there are, we need to go with the law, like, right? For example, what kind of environment you are going to deploy. So what happens is recent days people started deploying, right? Even at home, like you started, for example, kids monitoring, you started deploying cameras at your home. But sometimes it leads to a lot of challenges. I think probably we understand. There are too many issues because of that. So my point is like not as a solution, but before deploying, before taking any solution, we should work on that completely and all the aspects. And also we should consult with the expertise, like the technology expertise, right, the right one, and also with the legal issues. That's what I feel that. Otherwise, I can do the purpose, but the complications are very severe. And also not only with that, not only with the big data analytics, everywhere. I think obviously the question is that to have some big data, I think it comes from the devices and the sensors what you deploy. But question is that because of that, I mean, it may lead to many number of challenges later, which we may not know that. So as when you handle it probably, when you do something like probably you should look into all the analyze and investigate all the aspects, get an opinion from the expert, technical expert and the legal expert, then go with that. Then only it will happen. Point one. Point two is that we should have a very good, as you rightly said, cyber security system deployed in the organization or in the anywhere you are working. That should take care of it. For example, certain cyber physical systems at institutes will not permit some activities you do. You deploy something. You cannot connect the camera in your network. It will not permit unless otherwise you submit all the documents, right? And probably giving you a consent that anything will be investigated. So a lot of things are there. That's what I understand. But we cannot, deny or we cannot move away from all this system. But I think we are coming up probably many of the cases, even from the news, we are seeing that we get it like many the activity leads to different damages. Sometimes it's disastrous, since like it is not in the in the organized or in the guided way. That's a problem. That's what I understand. Anyhow, that's what I can say you now, like, right?
Ma'am, I'm sorry to
Sorry.
the interruption.
Yes, Sushmita, can you able to handle?
Yes, ma'am, I can handle, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sorry
Thank you,
for,
Sushmita. Proceed with the questions, ma'am.
yes, by artificial intelligence for identifying and protecting different cyberspace crimes or frauds.
Still sorry, like I missed you the first start
So,
or something.
maybe I'll repeat the question, sir. It's from an LLM
Yes,
student,
sure.
Ratna Kumar.
From LLM, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So
Yes, can you mention the role of big data in transforming law enforcement with IoT?
Yeah, ma'am, I think probably we discussed this a lot since it is in an abstract manner we discussed. But particularly when you see, that is one thing like where big data will provide you, too many things. But actually what is needed for law enforcement for that scene and for that case is the problem now, right? Identifying that. So that will be case by case. I think, I think the major challenge here in artificial intelligence or using IoT is that we don't have a unique model. Like, for example, to address this problem, you can have the solution. You don't have a model. Since like the environment, the circumstances and everything is keep varying. For example, the thing what happens here in India is not the same case. Maybe the what is this? The problem is that, I mean, same kind of problem, but you cannot deal that right in the same way, right? So question is that how you make use of the big data for your application is the question. That's what I'm telling. Even I think university, our law university cannot adopt some model which is so popular or which is really doing wonders in some other country. I think, right? That's not possible. And that is also one of the challenge in artificial intelligence or your machine learning. where, for your problem and for your case, what kind of solution you can adapt, you need to, that's what I think that I'm mentioning from the beginning. Identifying the right solution or right package, the tool for to investigate, and customizing that to a small extent is really needed. We should have some technical expert like in customizing it to at least setting the variables, right? Input variables, and setting the number of phases, like how much, the loop, like for example, in your neural network, you understand that how many, layers you go with, that and all we need to understand. So I think the answer is something like, I think we need to come up with an expertise. We don't have a right model or an answer. For example, you call it as protocol like a TCP/IP protocol, or you apply this, or you do this algorithm like an RSA. You cannot suggest in that way. Again, we should see, I told you that, right? It could be a small event or a case, but you cannot implement a big, a level of, deep learning and to do that and all, since about want of time and want of money. That's a different point. But anyhow, again, it is a kind of vague, I understand I'm not giving you a answer in a binary, but answers are like big data, and these things are more about it is big. So we need to identify what is right for us based on the environment and what kind of cybersecurity work with. For example, what happens in the institute, the solution I do have in my institute is not applicable to the other institute. It is not applicable to the school, right? I have a technology. You cannot implement it there, right? Even as a research I'm talking about. So that's the big, opportunity for most of the researchers in the globe, right? Across the globe to work in machine learning. And right, they have a problem. They want to optimize or advance the problem. They can have their own solution. They are not going with something extra Y which is there in the market. They're getting into it. But the core is that, like, where you need to customize it for your requirement. That's how even technology goes with that. Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, actually, we have a lot more questions here. Maybe I can pick up the important questions that would be answered, sir. Industrial IoT with respect to Industry 4.0 or mainly with manufacturing. Which area of application does Industry 4.0 applied in law enforcement?
Ma'am, again, I see in this way, even I'm not a very good expert in as a law enforcement, but I'm telling you, when you want to enforce, right, for example, the same tracking system I'm talking about. See, probably you have some inventory, you put it in a truck, you send it. Recent days, I think 99.9% you guarantee you are able to track that, right? You will not permit your goods to go wrong, right? This is possible now, right? So that will help you. Even it goes wrong, I think as a law enforcement, and probably the people are able to make it happen, or to identify it, to catch them, right? It happens. That's possible. That is what 4.0 is like. So the industry revolutions are more, sophisticated or more conducive, like to provide information, like whatever you need. In a complete, like it is a continuous, probably starting at time T1 to time Tn. For example, a track started at probably today by somewhere by my 9 a.m. You can track it even tomorrow, right? That's starting with your tool, right? And also your inventories, and many things happens. But still there is an extreme case where that's a different point. Like even I think we're not able to identify the aircrafts. I hope so. That's a different point. Okay. But still, basically, right, we are able to identify. That's how the industry 4.0 is going with it. That I'm telling you, like if you go with the right turbines, for example, it says that at 10% backup, it is giving you a warning to change that. Otherwise, it will lead to like what? To the challenging the human lives, the workers. If the owner is not doing that, still he is extending it. Similarly, how you take printout, even though it give you dark, we'll take printout. We'll be worried that if you are not sending it to our higher officers, we don't be worried about it. To share with our colleagues, we may giving it like, let us take 10 more copies, right? The same way he do it. But question is that if something goes wrong, I think for the investigation, the right, police or advocate is helpful for them. Probably go with it. Where is that like database, right? And based on the experience, probably many of the law enforcements, they are making it mandatory. You should have data, right, for investigations, similar to a black box. So slowly 4.0 is ensuring to have an environment which is right, helpful or conducive towards preventing, or something happens, are able to identify who is that, what is it like exactly. So these things are getting enabled because of this big data, IoT, I mean, industry 4.0. As I said, like computer science is not only the industry, you have power grids, you have transportation, you have automobiles, many more, right? In terms of, I mean, law enforcement, I'm talking about, right? So, and also there are other industries like, for example, textiles, and where they send more, for example, how polluting they are. There are a lot of things, like there are standards. You keep on taking database. Even a public is able to know. For example, you are living around a industry. A public can do it, like it is polluting the air, right? He is able to find a data and he can file a case, right? That's how it is, like. So that's how the revolutions, like I mean, like how things are embracing. This is how, I mean, these are different verticals. Like you have this IoT and these things coming up. Industries are also evolving. Probably they work hands together. This is what the enforcement I'm seeing in a way.
Sir, coming to the next question, we do have certain questions from the live streaming YouTube ATLU media session, sir.
Okay.
So what are the new protocols that are used for IoT communications nowadays?
Okay, so coming to this, like, right, I mean, where you have, it's again like, it's again about the domain, right? So for example, when you think about your IoT at home, right? Or when you, for example, it could be good example is autonomous vehicles. We are talking about autonomous vehicles, like for example, Tesla or even Google Waymo. These are all the projects, right, happening. When you see about the protocols, like for example, you have sensors, right, and among the devices, and there are sensors and there are devices who communicate with each other. For example, DSRC is one kind of technology for connecting, for, I mean, dedicated short range communication is one, which helps these IoT devices to communicate among themselves in their permissible range. I mean, for example, roughly it could be 100 meters up to 200 meters. It's about platooning and fleet management happens in that way. A car speaks to the other car, right? Maybe front or back. These are all the protocols. For example, when you ask me about the name of the protocol, it could be DSRC is the one like which speaks. At the same time, a vehicle which needs to communicate, right, or speak to a vehicle which is 500 meters or a kilometer away. Again, it should happen via the RSU, right? The roadside unit. Again, that protocol is again different. Like it's not like, right, the vehicle speaks with that. Again, it is an RSU. That communication is different. Again, like when the vehicle needs to speak to a cloud, right, which is there in the, for example, if you speak about Newark or SFO, somewhere like, right, to the cloud, again, it goes with your cellular, right? Again, technology is about 4G or 5G. So something you call it as protocol, something you call it as a technology, something you name it as a technique. So it's a kind of, together, like each embraces and they work together to make it happen. It's kind of autonomous vehicles. And similarly at home, like again, you are, for example, even many of you are taking printers, like you can set up WPS, like, right, you have a personal system, right, you can set a small lane. I mean, not need to have an internet, right? You can take a wireless printing, right, not necessarily without an internet also. Probably you have your router, connect your laptop or your mobile phone with the router, I mean, what you have at your home, connect your printer, you can communicate, not necessarily to go beyond that, right? Again, you have many protocols like which helps you to do that. For a local, I mean, that kind of WPS, and there are many protocols and techniques which helps you. So it depends, and we don't standardize IoT protocols since like they are of different, right? Similar to, for example, TCP/IP, UDP, or kind of SMTP kind of communication protocols. This is not more standardized since it depends on the environment and the application we use.
There is a very big question from Ratnakumar again from our LLM student. I think it's there in the chat box, sir. With respect to food industry, the RFID packaging, which is used to know the shelf life of food, particularly to know the quality of food. And when this shelf life of food is known to the consumers via IoT, then at this scenario, can law enforcement officials use this RFID data to prosecute the resellers who sell food and consumable items which are not in par with Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, particularly with respect to FSSAI? So they have mentioned some sections. I think it's too particular with that.
No, I understand, but to answer, first answer is yes. Answer is yes. But actually, probably, I mean, you guys, probably your people know that how much effort you need to put this to happen. Depends on who is the consumer and a lot of things. That's another point. The other one is like the RFID tags may be telling you that what it's about their expiry, the date of manufacturing expiry, the batch from where, and all these details, I believe. I think with that, yeah, that is like not only the RFID. I think these details are this FSAIT. What is this? In India, like FSAT, or I mean the food industry. I mean the agency. They ensure that all the details should be given there, even about the ingredients, like right. So even I think I'm telling that not necessary to go to RFID. Even with this, you can take a call. For example, sometimes it's known, but the quality of the food and all these things, even, sorry, I'm not more, I mean, I'm not matured with the quality of food and everything will be given as a detail to the RFID. I don't think so. That too in India, like, I don't think so. So you cannot take this much further, I mean, investigation, but instead, all the details are already there in the, given by the producer. With that, even the consumer can go with that. But you know very well, like, right, how this goes in a environment like, right, as what I can say, but still I'm not very good with the sections and all those things. But what are all the data food industry is there in the RFID is also a question. But I think we need to look at it. If you have a RFID scanner, you can see that, but particularly like pertaining to that, how much it will help you. There are a lot of questions behind that. It's kind of again an investigation. I don't think so. We don't have an answer. First part is yes, I give an answer yes, but in the second part, I think you need to investigate. But still, I'm not an expert in that. So it is a vague, like, because it depends on many factors, which influences. Okay.
We do have certain questions to be answered, sir. Ma'am, do we have time to answer HOD, ma'am?
There are a few more questions, like all lengthy questions are there. Sir, like one or two you just selected, Dr. Varalakshmi. The very relevant ones you just answer with the 5 to 10 minutes, we'll just wind up. Because already it's 12:44. It's already 12:45.
Okay. Then in that case,
yes, sure, sir. The very
to answer
limited questions.
But I think like many of the questions are more relevant. Before going to the questions, I'll reiterate that, right? Whatever it is, this is how we discussed about IoT and AI. I told you that it is a little vague and solutions are self-customized, right? For example, individuals need to pick the solutions. It should be in that way, one. Second, in your legal sections, I think you understand where AI is helping you more to give more data, timely data, and zone-based or instance-based. I mean, place-specific data. Those things are possible. It's giving you more and more, right? And we are adapting. And second question is maintenance of all these things. I think many of the times we end up in a way that it is not working, right? Since about for power failure. So a lot of things comes into picture. Again, law enforcement, like I believe they should take care more and like making this maintenance, and that is really important. That's another case, because like since it is about technology and all those things, someone can take excuse, right? That's also happening. For that, I think what we should, then there is another level. The hierarchy goes above. We should have an uninterrupted power supply, and interrupted power supply should be announced earlier. This is how in developed countries do. Are we doing that? And the question goes there. That's what I'm telling. You do an investigation. Finally, it ends up somewhere, right? It won't be in our scope. Scope will be like taken to the other right place. That's how it happens. And you say that UPS interrupt. Now you say that because of there is no manufacturing, you cannot have a UPS. It goes down. What do you say? Like nothing can happen. That's different. I don't come in that way. There is the other side of right. Even we can understand how things goes. But this is how technologies are. But anyway, there are questions. I don't know. I think I addressed as a overall. Even some specific questions. Anything with the technology, particularly, probably will have deeper. But more with the sections and this, I'm not. Good enough to answer that. That's one thing. And I don't know. So even I don't think so.
Fine, sir. I think most of the questions are answered. Maybe if at all any other questions, the participants, kindly you can post your questions to the email ID provided in the brochure, so that we'll get back to you with the answers from our keynote speaker. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Sushmita Sri, you can proceed, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful words, and we have learned many things, sir. We wish we learned that before, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
There are questions. Sorry, once again, like there are questions like why maybe out of how PUBG Mohan earlier, it is because of why he was not arrested. I think probably you guys you need to tell me that, right? This community, right? And also I believe there are advocates who are having an engineering background also in computer science. Probably they can act more on or have a educate others also to quick and pass the things not, for example, there is a question, just answering that question. Okay. Okay, ma'am. So, okay, thank you. So, probably, yeah,
You have answered for the question that even though there is so much IoT available, why were we are not able to catch PUBG Madan earlier? So, is it because he was using VPN? So,
the answer is not only because using VPN, it is because of how we notice that. That's a question that I probably even further I said before. Someone comes with some solutions, or someone comes with some ideas. They put it in the cyber and they started doing it. So our system is not in a way. Again, it is also the responsibility of the individual and the public. That is, sorry, I missed to mention that. Unless otherwise, I think we keep on building the system, and at a point never, it won't end up we need to keep on improving the system. Probably now I think we come to know that, and probably people started enforcing kind of that restricting or preventing people getting into doing such kind of things. Then they are alerting the local sectors and the cyber cells to keep watching that. Again, it is about monitoring. Even I said in a video where Homeland Ai, they keep on monitoring, they generate billions, terabytes, petabytes of data. From there, they are investigating. They have a super, fast systems who keep doing that. There are not a lot of things. It is a chain process where involvement of many verticals, agents, forums, technologists are really important to curtail. But anyhow, this is going to be a learning process. We need to come up with such kind of things. Not only with India, this happens everywhere. People are coming up with the experience and they are restricting it. That's what could be the answer. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Sushmita, over to you, ma.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for a wonderful time and with your knowledge and presence. Chat box is full of appreciation, sir, from almost all the participants. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you, madam. If nothing more, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. And again, looking forward to work with you. Really, sometimes I get interested in the sense this could be really making something to the people, right? Probably even we want to be part of it, right? That's what Thank you.
Please stay for a while, sir. Please.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
so the formal vote of thanks, sir.
Oh, okay. And before that, I thank all the participants. I don't know how much I satisfied their expectations, but even this is a new, new gathering for me. Mostly we address the gathering with some, even with our discipline. This is a new experience. But anyhow, I tried my best, but anyhow, still somewhere something is not to your understanding. Probably, yeah, please accept with me. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for being with us. It's a wonderful session. So thank you, sir. Yes, ma, you can proceed.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Whenever you find something extraordinary, you will find the fingerprints of a great teacher. We have come to the end of this fruitful workshop. I would like to welcome a person who has organized and coordinated an amazing workshop, who has always been a supporter and motivator for the students to excel not only in academics but also their personality development. I'm happy to invite the organizing secretary of this workshop, Dr. Varalakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sushmita. A warm and a graceful morning to one and all. All good things have come to an end, and acknowledging the good that we have is a foundation of abundance. On behalf of our Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, it is my privilege and honor to propose a vote of thanks in this national workshop titled Transforming Law Enforcement with IoT and Artificial Intelligence Perspective. First of all, I render my sincere gratitude to the Almighty God for making this workshop a spectacular success. I would like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. N.S. Santosh Kumar sir, for being a cascade of encouragement and for giving assent to this workshop. Sir, we must thank you for setting high expectations on us. Our esteemed Vice Chancellor sir has been constantly shaping the environments for our faculties and students to learn and succeed. I extend my sincere gratitude to Professor Dr. V. Balaji sir, Registrar in charge and UG Director in charge, for being a stimulant and a source of inspiration to all of us. Sir, your ability to empathize with our students and constant belief in us inspires us all to learn new things and to carve a niche for ourselves. Sir, I also thank you for giving today's felicitation address and presidential address. Thank you, Professor. On behalf of our university, I deem it to be an honor to express a heartfelt thanks to our keynote speaker, Dr. R. Gunasekaran, sir, Professor and Head, Department of Computer Technology, Anna University, MIT campus, for his gracious presence in this occasion and delivering the keynote address on transforming law enforcement with IoT and artificial intelligence perspective. I'm very proud to say that in this moment that myself and Dr. R. Gunasekaran sir carried out our PhD research work under the guidance of Professor Dr. Raiman sir, Anna University, Chennai. I must thank him for spontaneously agreeing our invitation in spite of his hectic schedule. Sir, we are feeling gratitude for bringing your expertise and experience in the area of artificial intelligence and IoT. The paramount of patience that you had shown by listening and answering the questions is valuable, sir. Invaluable, sir. Thank you, Professor. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. At this moment, I wish to thank Dr. S.K. Ramani ma'am, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Interdisciplinary Studies and convener of this workshop for her meticulous efforts that she has taken for the success of this event. Ma'am, your guidance and advice have always been precious for us. I am grateful for all the help and trust that you have bestowed upon me. Thank you, ma'am. I am obliged to thank Dr. Sharvani ma'am, Senior Professor, Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, who always motivate us. Ma'am has forever been our pillar of support for every endeavor that we pursue. Thanks a lot, Professor. I'm very happy to express my sincere sense of gratitude to all my department faculty members. Captain Jaishankar sir, Mr. P. Kannan sir, Dr. Vai Murugan sir, Dr. Vidya ma'am, Dr. Senthil Kumar sir, Ms. Pethunachiar ma'am, Dr. Vishwanathan sir, Dr. Chinnu sir, Mr. Marudhavijayan sir, Mr. Rahul Raghu sir, Dr. Vadivel Raju sir, Dr. Nirmal Kumar sir, Dr. Pushpam ma'am, Dr. Martina ma'am, Dr. Deeplakshmi ma'am, Dr. Thirumal sir, and other guest faculty members for their constant encouragement and support. My heartfelt thanks to Dr. Srinivasan sir, Controller of Examination, Dr. Reddivari Revati ma'am, IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Kumuda Ratnam ma'am, PG Director in Charge, Dr. Harita Devi ma'am, Director in Charge, Research, Publications and Academic Affairs, and heads of all the PG departments for the immense support and valuable cooperation in organizing this event. My words of appreciation and thanks to the webinar coordinators, Dr. Rajalakshmi ma'am, Head of the Department of Criminal Law, and Dr. Vidya ma'am, Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, who without any delay coordinated for the approval of the workshop and conducted the same. Thank you, ma'am. I must also thank all the other professors and my dear colleagues who by their participation have been a beacon of support during this workshop. I also extend my thanks to our university librarian, Dr. Ashok Kumar sir and Mr. Jayadavin sir for their effective technical support rendered in making this event glitch-free and also for smooth live streaming in YouTube in our channel TNDLU Media. Thank you, sir. I thank all the other dignitaries who have graced their presence in this workshop event. An event like this dimension cannot happen overnight. It needs meticulous planning, execution, and a bird's eye for details. I would like to appreciate the moderator, Ms. Sushmita Sri, and the student coordinator, Mr. Preetish Kumar, BCLLB Honors students. I'm short of words for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zone. Right from the day one, they work for this success of this workshop. Thank you, my dear students. Participation, I think, are one of the best methods of educating. Above all, I render my deepest thanks to the overwhelming and active participants from various government law colleges, advocates, faculties, students of TNDLU, Anna University, and various institutions who have been the spirit of this workshop. We have received more than 600 registrations from all over India, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. As a host, it will be our pleasure that we get a chance to host you all again with the same spirit and enthusiasm. We, the Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University, is organizing a series of webinars, workshops, lecture series, training programs, etc. For more details, kindly visit the events webpage on our website www.tndalu.ac.in. Once again, my heartfelt thanks to one and all. Thank you. Dhanyavad. Nandri. Vanakkam. Over to you,
Thank
Sushmita.
you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your valuable words. The essence of all beautiful art is gratitude. It is my pleasure to be the moderator of this event, and I thank for the opportunity given by our beloved ma'am, Dr. R. Varalakshmi, Assistant Professor and Department in the Interdisciplinary Studies. Thank you, ma'am. Participants' feedback form link has been posted in the chat box, so please fill the form to avail your e-certificate.